All right, we are moving on to lesson 10.5. We are now going to make our own bar graphs. So on your packet, this first page is crossed off. It's page 677. So you'll move on to page 678. So yesterday we worked on reading bar graphs. Very similar stuff today. The only difference is now they are going to give us the information. We are going to make that bar graph, and then we're going to have to use the bar graph to answer questions similar to yesterday. All right, so up at the top, it says Abel read 2 books. Jiang, you can always call her Jay. Jay read 4 books. Kara read 1 book, and Jamelia read 3 books. All right, so it has your bar graph for you. Title at the top, books read. Along the side, number of books, and then the children that read those books along the bottom. So it says complete the bar graph to show this data. So they have Abel and Jay's done, but you need to shade in with your pencil, or if you want to use a color pencil, crayon, or something, you can. You need to shade in Kara's amount of books she read and Jamelia's amount of books she read. So Kara read 1 book, so you would shade up to the 1. And Jamelia read 3, so you'd shade up to the 3. All right, down below. Ella is making a bar graph to show the kinds of pets her classmates have. Then it has the information. It says 5 classmates have a dog, 7 classmates have a cat, 2 classmates have a bird, 3 classmates have a fish. Then it says number 1, write labels and draw bars to complete the graph. So the first thing you always have to do when you are making a bar graph is you need to write labels. So labels are like your title at the top, so your main topic of what you're talking about, and then you have to label the sides. So you'll label the side that has the numbers, and whatever side has the numbers, whether it be here or here, you'd always start that with like number of, and then whatever it is. So here, it said Ella's making a bar graph to show the kinds of pets her classmates have. So you'd have number of classmates because that's how many classmates chose that pet. And then down below you have dog, cat, bird, fish. Of course, those are all the types of pets, so you would label it pet or pets. Your labels on your graph, they don't need to be super long. They just need to be the main thing that you are describing, whether it be the numbers or the objects or things that you are talking about. So like, of course, it wouldn't have made sense to put pet over here where the numbers are and put the classmates over here because your classmates aren't dog, cat, bird, and fish. So make sure whatever you're labeling it makes sense in your graph. So then those are your labels, and then you're going to draw bars to complete the graph. So now you're going to take this information that was listed up above, and you, like I said, you can use pencils, markers, crayons, color pencils to shade in the bars. So if you want to do each animal a different color, you can. And remember, you'll shade up to the amount. So it said 5 classmates have a dog, so find dog down here, and they already did dog for you, and they shaded it up to the 5. And then it says 7 classmates have a cat. So go to cat, shade it up to the 7. And then you'll do the same for bird and fish. Then it asks you down below, how will the graph change if one more child gets a bird? So you'll look at what bird was before and then explain how that amount would change if you added one more child picking bird. All right, that was page 678. We're going to go on to 679. Okay. Up at the top, it says Dexter asked his classmates which pizza topping is their favorite. Okay, so file that away in your brain. We're talking about pizza toppings. Dexter is the one that is making the graph, and he asked his classmates, all right, so he's asking people their favorite pizza topping. So that'll help you when you're making your labels and your title. So it says 4 classmates chose peppers, 7 classmates chose meat, 5 classmates chose mushrooms, 2 classmates chose olives. All right, so then number 3, it says write a title and labels for the bar graph. So first thing you need to do, write your title. So think, what are they talking about? Are they talking about favorite types of cookies? No, they're talking about pizza toppings. So you might write something like favorite pizza toppings. Then your labels for the sides. So over here, you have a little line. So if you want to turn your page when you're writing, you can. So they've got peppers, meat, mushrooms, and olives. So ask yourself, what are peppers, meat, mushrooms, and olives? And then down below, you have your numbers. So think about, okay, Dexter asked his classmates what their favorite topping was. So remember, this would be number of classmates, right, that he asked. Then you need to actually draw the bars in the graph to show the data. So then you will shade in how many children chose each of those toppings. Then you have one question to answer about it. Number 5, which topping did the most classmates choose? And make sure you spell that topping correct because they're all listed right there for you. And then number 6 is crossed out. Right, and then you will turn to page 680. You're going to make another bar graph. Now you have Cody. Cody asked his classmates which zoo animal is their favorite. All right, Cody is the one making the graph. He's asking his classmates which zoo animal is their favorite. So think about that information when you're doing your title and your labels. 6 classmates chose bear, 4 classmates chose lion, 7 classmates chose tiger, 3 classmates chose zebra. Use the data to complete the bar graph. Write a title and labels, draw bars. Okay, you need a title up at the top. Remember, titles start with capital letters. All the important words in the title are capital. So remember, words that aren't important would be like of, the, and, but a title always starts with a capital letter. Then along the side here are your numbers. So number of whatever that number is 4. And then down below here we have bear, lion, tiger, zebra. So what are those? So think of a simple label for that down there. And labels, just like the title, would be capital. And then that's all you need to do. I just want you to complete the bar graph on that page. You don't have to do number 8 or number 9. And then of course, don't forget to shade in your bars. All right, and then you are onto your assignment page that you would usually turn into the yellow bin. We're on page 681. Maria asked her friends how many hours they practice soccer each week. All right, so now we have Maria, and she's asking her friends how many hours they practice soccer each week. Okay, so think about that stuff when you're doing your title and your labels. Jesse practices for 3 hours. Victor practices for 2 hours, Samantha practices for 5 hours, and David practices for 6 hours. Title up here. Jesse, Victor, Samantha, and David are all listed here. And then you've got numbers down here. Number of something. All right, number 3. Which friend practices soccer for the most hours each week? Oh, and don't forget to shade in your amounts on there too. Number 4, which friends practice soccer for fewer than 4 hours each week? It says which friends, so there's going to be more than one person that practices soccer for fewer than 4 hours each week, and you'll write their names on the line. And then you do not have to do number 5. On to the back, we're on page 682. They have a bar graph already made for you. We're talking about favorite seasons. They list the seasons over here and the number of children that chose those seasons. And your question is, how many more children chose summer than spring? So you are comparing summer to spring. You want to know how many more chose one than the other, so you're going to have to subtract. Number 2, Rachel's chain is 22 centimeters long. She takes 9 centimeters off the chain. How long is Rachel's chain now? She has 22 centimeters, she takes 9 off. How much does she have left? Number 3, use an inch ruler. What is the length of the yarn to the nearest inch? So make sure you are on the inch side, the side that goes from 0 to 12. Number 4, Gail finished studying at 1:15. What time did Gail finish studying? All right, remember when we talked about quarter past and half past? Half past means your minute hand is exactly halfway around your clock. So quarter past means it's only a quarter of the way around. All right, so your minute hand would be pointing at the 3. So you're going to write the time if your minute hand was pointing at the 3, and it's 1:15. And then number 5, Jill has 2 $1 bills, 1 quarter, and 1 nickel. How much money does Jill have? So you'll probably want to draw a picture for that, and don't let them trick you. It says Jill has 2 $1 bills. Where we have dollars and where we have cents here, you are going to have to use a decimal point to separate your dollars from your cents. And then you will be done with lesson 10.5.